we discovered that rather late in our pregnancy in 2000, that the baby that I was carrying had anencephaly, which is a serious neural tube defect where basically she was missing most of her brain.
We took another ultrasound and saw that our baby had anencephaly. Didn't know if it was a boy or a girl at that time, just that things weren't right.
As soon as she touched her wand, so to speak, to my stomach, she said, "This baby has significant problems." And our world just, it just shattered.
When you think of hospice, you think of grandma or grandpa or somebody dying of cancer, somebody who's had a full life, or close to it, and we're giving them care through the end of their life. When you think about pregnancy and the concept of hospice with pregnancy is different because you've got a mom who's going to do fine. You have a pregnancy that may or may not.
These babies are not a mistake or a fluke of nature, and they're not just a genetic mistake, but they're really God's masterpieces, and that in His eyes they are most special, and their lives serve a purpose beyond our imagination.
Alexandras House does it right on a number of levels. First off, it's a place where somebody who has a problem with the pregnancy, potentially fatal problem with the pregnancy or a serious problem with pregnancy, can go and they'll find support. They'll find other people who've gone through the experience. They can find information. They can find a shoulder to cry on. They can find financial support. They can find social support. It provides a framework for helping a couple who are going through a difficult time.
We were faced with the option of carrying this child that we knew was going to die. This diagnosis doesn't have any percentage, it's 100% fatal. So we struggled, with that a little bit, even though, we come from a position of faith where that's not part of our belief. To end the life of a child early, we didn't know what to do.
Just the flood of emotions and confusion and thoughts of how can this be, a possibility, a rare possibility of Down syndrome, to your baby isn't going to live.
I prayed so hard as I went throughout the day just to give me strength to tell a man that I love that our child wouldn't make it.
When you find out that there's a baby that's got a potentially fatal anomaly or something that's going to impact its life seriously when it's born, things change. People go into a grieving process, and Alexandras House helps people through that process. It helps them prepare for the birth. It helps them prepare for what happens after birth, and then it provides care, after the baby's born, and helps people get through those first couple weeks, months, and years when the grieving process is still pretty strong.
There was no doubt in my mind that we wouldn't carry this baby all the way until God was ready. What I didn't know was how long I'd be carrying this sweet little child inside of me. I prayed all the time in the beginning of the pregnancy that God would go ahead and take our little baby just to save me some heartache.
We really think that Alexandras House was very pivotal at that point where we weren't sure what to do. And there isn't really any other resource like Alexandras House, because you might have a friend that's willing to walk with you, but you don't have a friend who's there to say, I have a support group for you to come to. I have other people who've walked that same path and who know this is how you can handle it. This is what will help you. I can be here for you. I can come to your labor with you. I can come afterward. I can come to your house. I can sit there with your family and talk to them.
in today's world, doctors' offices are busier and busier and busier, and it's hard to find the time to really sit down with somebody and say, this is what's going on.
So you come in for a routine procedure and then you hear words like not compatible with life. So that was, what does that mean?
Alexandras House, has resources to help patients kind of figure that out.
Through the meetings we went to, the first one was just the hardest meeting the hardest thing I'd ever faced, because there were other people telling their story. And I just kind of felt like, why am I here? Why do I need to tell you my story?
For most people, it gives them a chance to realize that they're not the first person going through this, and they're not the only person going through this, and they're not going to be the last person going through it.
There's also an unexpected loss group now that's been started by some moms here, and I've attended that several times and found it to be very helpful just to have other moms who are in the same or similar situations.
Not only do we help people who are going through it, but a lot of those families come back and they help the next couple who's going through it. And in that way, the process just continues to grow. And there we have a huge support, framework within the community now.
Suddenly we felt like here was support. Here wasn't just someone saying, you need to make the right decision. It was someone saying, and I'm going to walk with you every step of the way, and you can do it. And other people have done it, and that combined with our intuition, I guess my intuition of knowing, this is our baby's life. This is her whole life.
When we were introduced to Patty Lewis, we felt like the heavens had opened up and God sent us an angel, because finally someone recognized where our hearts were and what we were trying to do.
There's a lot of people who would say, what, nothing wrong with the baby, we'll just terminate it. We have actually had a number of couples who have been in that situation where seriously considering termination, and once they've talked to the people here at Alexandras House, have changed their mind and decided to proceed with it. So if nothing else, it has the ability to change somebody's outlook, not only on pregnancy, but life in general, and the value of even a short life.
I definitely agree with the fact that, the decision that we made was the right decision. Partly because it gives us the time that we need to be with Mary Magdalene, even to be with Ava, even though it was a short time, but also to grieve in a very healthy and positive way.
If the baby's still in utero, there still isn't that heightened sense of, hey, let's still prepare for the worst, but understand that we're hoping for the best. So that's kind of where we wanted to be at. It was someone that was like-minded, that saw Caitlin as this beautiful little girl that was broken.
Champ Samuel is our firstborn son. Champ came from this man right here saying that we wanted to name him Champ because he's a fighter.
He's held on for the entire duration that he did,
He's strong.
My wife would tell you that she wouldn't give up those 9 months, because those were the 9 months of pregnancy and the 10 minutes of life that she had with her baby. And if that was all she could get, she was going to take it. In a lot of these situations, you have no idea until the baby's born what's going to happen. And I know my wife, if she hadn't given him every chance at life, it would have bothered her, I think, for the rest of her life. Me too.
We're all peers of one another, where everybody here has experienced in some way the death of a baby. And I think parents will say that while all the professional help works, it doesn't replace somebody who knows how you feel, somebody who has walked that walk and been present when their baby was born and died.
If anything, I think that you'll find that the couples who come through Alexandra's House and go through this event in their life probably have a stronger marriage and a stronger relationship at the end of the pregnancy than they had going in.
We were blessed with another child, Elizabeth Elaine, that was just born. And Patty and team were at the baby shower with us.
Alexandra House helped us to see that we're not taking any of the pregnancy or any of our kids for granted. It's just like a lot before that with the two oldest one, we took them for granted. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. We got two healthy, and nothing like this could happen. But we treasure the time that Lesley gets pregnant. We treasure the time that we have her with our other kids. It just helps us to be more aware of them.
It's an interesting dynamic when you've been through so much tragedy and you've been through death to celebrate the life and to come out of that portion of it. That's the redeeming story to me of Alexandras House. It doesn't stop when the tears stop.
And you'll just without a doubt want to make the call to Alexandras House. It's just one of those things that, again, I don't know where I'd be or what would be, the hole, like she was saying, the gaping hole. Something took over, and it was Alexandras House that I think did that. It just gave us our life back.
We are privileged to serve these families. We are privileged to serve these babies, and we see in these darkest hours the most beautiful of humanity.